That is great. What were some of the things that you thought were different between the United States and Canada?
Well, that's a tough question. It's a sensitive one. I don't know if there's going to be a Canadian audience or American audience, but seriously, personally and professionally, I like both countries, and I have learned a lot, from American counterparts and from Canadian counterparts. These are the only two great countries in North America. Of course, I think to be a diplomat or to be a businessman, per se international businessman, which I call myself when I was in Ottawa, I didn't want to stir up some political sensitiveness or embarrassment. I keep calling myself a salesman from Taiwan, a matchmaker from Taiwan, and I'm trying to promote, to market, to showcase the Republic of China to the Canadian friends. They both, U.S. and Canada, they both have their respective strengths. They both have their special characteristic features. But one of the difference, if I may say that, is in the U.S. only English speaking.
Yeah.
But in Canada, in Ottawa, it's a bilingual.
Okay.
Bilingual, city. French and English.
English.
Yeah. And because Canada was under British, influence.
Right.
For in history, so that was a very multi-faceted, highly diverse country in terms of culture. So you may call it in the U.S. and Canada. In both countries, we have witnessed some Chinese expatriates, Chinese overseas. But in the U.S., they call the U.S. a melting pot.
Yeah.
And but in Canada, they call Canadians like to be called cultural mosaic.
Okay.
So that's the difference. Cultural mosaic. It's all kinds of people.
Oh.
Not only not only the British, the European immigrants, but also the Oriental, the Asian Pacific people. And I think during my time there, for the last year of my tenure in Canada, the Governor General, who is the Queen's representative, this Commonwealth country. The Governor General was a Chinese lady.
Okay.
And she, of course, doesn't speak Chinese, and she's French speaking, English speaking. So I think that indicates the Canada's concern on all the different kinds of ethnic groups, people, which is very good.
Wow. Did you pick up French yourself?
Well, I did not. I feel ashamed. But my son, he did.
Oh, okay.
Somehow, because a young boy, he can pick up. Yeah.
I'm curious what kind of person you are when you were a kid. Thinking about the way that you're so mission-oriented and also your patriotism to your home country. What kind of person are you, as a child? Just briefly. All right.
Well, you can tell my name is Leonard because Leonard, I picked up.
Lion?
Leonardo da Vinci, which I idolized. Da Vinci, very versatile. I like multi-interest hobbies. Take one thing first. When I was a kid, I was very quiet. I like reading a lot, and even novels, and not only the serious stuff, but also like I like films, going to the movies. I even came up with my film, critic review when I was a little boy, 影评. So I was interested. I was engrossed in movie and then rock and roll when I was in Taida.
Really?
But I think I myself, I can be classified as not hardworking, but also I think I enjoy making friends.
That is
and
great.
I enjoy helping friends. I like making friends and helping them. I think that's my personality.
Well, that helps. Yeah. Well, let's take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Swaziland. Welcome back to People. I'm Shirley Lin, and I've got Ambassador Leonard Chao, who is the former ambassador to the Kingdom of Swaziland. And so we're going to talk about Swaziland now. Yeah. How long were you there? How many years was it?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. What was your first reaction when you heard that you're going to be sent to Swaziland?
Well, that was in year 2006. You might not believe it, when I first heard of this assignment in my office then, my first reaction was looking up the map on the wall. Where is Swaziland?
Did you know that it's in Africa?
I knew that it's in Africa. I don't know where in Africa.
Right.
And then I realized that it was in the southern peak of African continent. Yeah, Swaziland is a beautiful country.
Yeah.
It's one of our best friends in the international community.
That's right.
Yes.
Wow. So the city itself is tiny, and most of it is countryside? Because I don't know what that country is like.
There are 2 big cities per se in this kingdom. Swaziland is a monarchy, and one of the very few so-called absolute monarchies left in the world.
Yeah.
And the 2 cities are the capital city, Babane. But the other one is the largest commercial trading city. It's called the Manzini, and which is closer to the airport. Yes. But the country itself, the size of Swaziland, is about half of that of Taiwan.
Oh, just only
Well,
half.
it's not small, as compared with the other diplomatic, allied countries we have in the world. And then the population wise is nearly 1 million.
1 million.
Yeah.
That is huge for a small place.
That's right. And the former British colony. So they are English speaking.
English.
And Christianity.
Well, that was convenient.
Well, that was that relief,
Yes. But they have their own native dialect.
That's right.
And can you say something? Maybe like, I love Taiwan.
How are you? Sawubona njani.
Oh.
Sawubona. That for a single person, if you are talking to one, person,
yes,
I say Sawubona njani. But if you are addressing a group of audience, you should say Sanibot banani begnene. So that's different, singular form and plural form. And but I can recite a long one, which is what I frequently used for those Swazi audience, because like I say, there's a country of Christianity. Most people are Christians. But so a lot of time in my speech closings, I always like to remind them the famous expression in English: God helps those who help themselves. So Kulankulu usita labo labatisitako.
Wow.
I brought down the house. Wow. So I think picking up the local native language that can make you much closer to their people,
definitely,
to their heart, to their mind. So, and also speaking of Swazi language, which they call Eswatini. The Swazi people, they were very kind. To my surprise, they gave me a nickname in Eswatini. They call me Ambassador Mashesha.
Right.
Mashesha. Mashesha. Meaning what? Which means Mr. Fast Action.
Yes.
Mr. Efficiency. Because I like to deliver, the Taiwanese friendship, Taiwanese, assistance, humanitarian, and a lot of foods and electricity, water supply, and medication, drugs to the needy hands in the countryside.
Right.
And whatever I promised the Swazi friends,
you made it happen.
I made it happen.
You make me feel like you're like Einstein, because you brought electricity to the Swazi people. Can you talk about that? I mean, they must appreciate you for generations and generations from now on, because that's such a precious thing that you brought to them.
Well, I kind of enjoy doing that. Because Swaziland is a beautiful country, like I mentioned, and also they got delightful, pleasant weather. So I was telling my wife and myself and my colleagues at the embassy, I said, since we are here, why don't we try to make the best out of it? Enjoy the beautiful scenery, the fresh air, So let's get out of the embassy office, get out of the capital city, to see the rest of the kingdom, to meet and talk with the real people, the rank and file people, those poor people. And I try very hard, like I told you, heart and soul and heart and hand. And then the people seem to, they were very much appreciative, obviously. So they gave me this name, Mashesha. And also, I was trying to let the people in Swaziland know that although Taiwan is a long-term diplomatic friend of this kingdom, but we're not taking this kind of friendship for granted. And also, we are making friends with this country from the king, the leadership, prime minister, as far as I was concerned, down to the bottom level people. So that can somehow diffuse some of the different voice for how come Swaziland is stuck with Taiwan, because and while the majority of African countries, they have diplomatic relations with mainland China, and Swaziland is one of the very few. Now we have only 4 countries left in Africa with which we have diplomatic ties. So I try to convince even some of the so-called opposition people in Swaziland. They were moved. They were convinced by my sincere action, by my, it's from the bottom of my heart. We might not be a big country, we might not be a powerful friend in the world, but we are sincere friend. We are sincere, and we never make you cry. We only make you smile.
Yeah.